Hi, and welcome to TV My Husband Hates. I'm Cat Sims.
And I'm Reagan Kempton.
And we are reality TV addicts.
Addicts, aficionados.
Ooh, I like that. Experts.
Experts.
Basically, we know our shit when it comes to reality TV.
100%. Hey guys, and welcome to the first full episode of 2021 of TV My Husband Hates. How you doing, Kat?
I'm doing all right. Happy New Year.
Happy shitty year?
I mean, isn't 2021
new?
the year that we always hoped it would be?
Oh man, there's been a lot happening in these 8 days of January.
I mean, your Capitol building's been stormed. We are back in a national lockdown. I don't know about you, but I am living my best fucking life.
Yeah. Yes.
But I am in good news. This is a great thing. I haven't washed my hair today. I'm wearing sweatpants. I've got no bra on. Like, this is the side of lockdown I can get on board with. Loungewear for lockdown is where I am at.
No, for sure. I feel really dressed up here on the top because I put on a top and some makeup and my hair is done. But
well, you had yourself a fancy interview this morning.
I did.
So that's why.
But I've got tracky bottoms.
Good vibes. Oh,
I do have tracky bottoms.
So. I love that you're only doing like work on the top half,
lockdown
on the bottom half.
It's the mullet of clothing. It's business in the front, party down below.
It's always a party down below. I mean, what am I saying? It's been a long time since it was a party down below.
Oh gosh, you're telling me like we're still in the basement with no door. Not super hot for our sex life.
But also, like, I know that people are like lockdown babies. Everybody's having lockdown.
No.
Babies. Like, I'm far more likely to sleep with my husband and find him really attractive when I don't see him 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so this is what I think. I think for people who do not have children, there could be some lockdown babies, like single couples, both working at opposite sides of the house, meeting together for meals and drinks. This is what I picture lockdown babies, like single people. Right, or not single people, or even marrieds without children. Like, this is what I picture your lockdown to be, right? Whereas people with children are like, do not even touch me. There's no way I'm dealing with a newborn during all this as well.
They're like, I still haven't got over the fact that you left that dirty teaspoon on top of the counter by the dishwasher.
Or you get to work in the area that's closed off from the children where I have to work at the table with the children.
Oh, yeah.
That resentment is there and it's real.
Do not touch me.
Or I'm just exhausted, so I'm asleep.
I know, this is the thing. Like, it's exhausting. We're doing Big Bell Breakfast tomorrow, which is where the kids get up and do that. So that's like, we're like, that's when we'll have sex.
We've started doing that on a daily basis, whereas I am no longer responsible for the entire family's breakfast. Everybody has to get their own breakfast.
Well, and to be fair, now you can be in bed and like 5 feet away is your kitchen.
Oh yeah, I can still see it.
Just shouting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't get a lie-in. It's just like our normal day-to-day. Yeah. Mommy is now not responsible for breakfast anymore.
So what I've started doing is I've put hours, because we're now back in lockdown. I've put kitchen hours up. So, because what happened before was that it was like this constant expectation that at any given moment of the fucking day, I would drop everything I was doing. Or Jimmy would, and make a snack, make a sandwich, or whip up some porridge. So now I'm like, for breakfast, we are open between 7 and 8:30. For lunch, we are open between 12 and 1. And for dinner, we are open between 5 and 6 for kids. And anyway, they've had McDonald's tonight, so that doesn't count. But awesome. But I'm not doing this thing where I'm a fucking short order cook and they can just go, can I have a sandwich? And I'm expected to just produce a sandwich. Fuck that shit.
No, we've done a lot of those types of things, living in a very small space all together. I'm trying to empower them because ultimately we've seen how entitled white men act in my country the beginning of this year. And I have two of them.
For the last 4 years, let's be
honest.
For
sure. So I have two of them, and it's like my life's mission and goal that I am not raising entitled fuckwads. So part of that is making sure that they are doing chores, they are actively contributing to our household, and they're making our lives easier. So that has been the focus of our basement living. And if they want a snack, they just have to go get it themselves. It has to be something that they can just go get. I have no part in it.
Yeah, I mean, I've told them that they just don't need to eat all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like they get bored and they're like, I'll just demand some sort of
Right.
food thing. I'm like, no, fuck that. The kitchen is closed. You can drink some water. You can always grab some fruit. But beyond that, you have your fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's it.
Yeah.
End of. It's a different fucking lockdown this time around, let me tell you.
It's a gulag lockdown.
It is. Well, we've learned, right? Because last time it was thrown upon us. We had no idea. Anyway, now we're like, we've learned from our mistakes. There's no fucking around. And also, in some ways, lockdown's easier in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, homeschooling is easier in the winter because the kids are less like, I want to be in the playground, I want to be in the paddling pool, I want to be outside. They're just like, yeah, fine, I'll just sit here. And they've not really got anything fucking else to do. So they're like, all right, we'll just sit here and do our work.
Right.
I mean, it means that I'm a full-time teacher again. Never thought I'd be there, but...
Do you ever think you'd be teaching young children? Because we never taught the young ones. At least I never did.
No. I have to say, I don't hate teaching Billy.
Yeah.
She's 7,
that's
nearly 8. Like, it's kind of fun coming up with different ways to get her to try and understand something. Like, if she doesn't get maths in one way, I can come up with a different way to try and do it. That's quite fun.
Right.
Bo, though, it's like a whole different... I've given Bo to Jimmy, and basically they just muddle along.
Though. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say he likes it.
No.
He's stepping up to the plate.
Good job.
But yeah, because she's just like, oh, bright shiny thing. Doing writing, and she'll be like, Jasper's got a willy. We'll be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, there's no.
Yeah. For sure.
You just never know where she's going to go. It's like herding cats, but
she's jazz. She's jazz.
She is. We're just doing our fucking best.
What you got to do, man. I don't mind teaching Keith. I mean, I haven't had to do it, so I'm just talking out of my ass here because, when he was in lockdown, it's just preschool, so it is what it is. Tate, I really struggled with like the new way they teach math because I don't get it. I just know the way I was taught math, so we clashed because then he's like, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it, even though it's the right answer. And I don't know how to walk him through that because I don't understand these like weird bubbles and
the division bubbles are fucking weird. I don't get those.
They
either.
Blow my mind. I just don't understand.
I don't either. And I did speak to our math teacher about this. We'll get on to the reality TV.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I did talk to our math teacher about this. I was like, I didn't learn this shit in the way that she's learning it. And the math teacher did say, to be honest, it doesn't matter. She's like, if you can explain it in your way,
then just do that.
I was like, oh, all right. So I taught her how to put like numbers on top of each other and add them up that way. That's not how they teach adding up anymore.
No, and see, this is where I don't like that I have such a rule follower as an oldest child because he will not do it the way I have explained it. He wants to do it the way the teacher has explained it because that is the right way. Mommy's way is not right. And be fair, maybe mommy's way isn't right. I'm not a math scholar by any means, but I can add, subtract, and divide and multiply. But anyways,
I mean,
he doesn't.
I don't think I could do long division though if my life depended on it.
I can still do that. I can't do algebra. I never have been able to do algebra.
No,
not even.
We're not numbers people.
No.
What we are though is reality TV people. Woo! You like what I did there? This is our first show of this year. We took a break. We're happy to be back. I enjoyed taking a break, but I'm glad that we are back doing our thing.
Me too. Like, I enjoyed the ease of watching reality TV without having to take notes, but I missed being able to chat through it because my husband obviously does not give a fuck.
Although he did come in while I was watching Southern Charm this morning to hear Craig talking about Danny being emotional. And Jimmy did say, wow, he's a special kind of wanker. So Jimmy's little input is always highly appreciated.
He's on brand and on point.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
But that's not where we're starting. That's where we're going to end. Where we're starting is, of course, in Atlanta. And over the 2 weeks that we obviously didn't talk about it, we saw Cynthia and Mike get into a little bit of a fuss about this bloody 10-10-20 wedding.
It's so insane. And I mean, to be honest, I understand where Mike is coming from. Like, I feel like Mike is like, I think you just want it to be a show, and that's really bothering me. If you really want to marry me on 10-10-20, marry me on 10-10-20. It doesn't matter where we are.
I 100% agree. I think.
Yeah.
And also, it's like I would be more sympathetic towards Cynthia if this was her first wedding.
Yeah,
like,
I do
if
think
this was like the only chance she was going to have the wedding that she wanted. Like, this is your third wedding.
Yeah.
This is the man that you wanted.
I think it's only her second. She wasn't
second?
married to Leon.
Right. Second wedding.
Yeah.
But also, all Mike really wants to hear is her say, listen, I actually don't give a fuck. I'd get married on the sidewalk. And she's not saying that until she has this conversation with Kenya.
I mean, who knew Kenya could actually give some fucking non-selfish good advice? I think this is a first for this show. I mean, see. Go ahead. Like, I totally agree with Mike, and Mike does need to hear that from Cynthia. I did think it was interesting, though, because when we see Cynthia talk to Candy about it, Candy makes a really good point that, like, with her marriage to, what's his face? Her ex, Peter. They had no money. So she wasn't able to do, like, the things she wanted to do. So this wedding was going to be the one wedding where she could do all the things. And I understand being disappointed about that. Like, that's totally fine and natural. You still need to make sure, like, your man knows it's not all about the spectacle and it is about the connection.
Well, and also I'm with you. Be disappointed, but also let's get our priorities straight. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Like,
for sure.
If this truly is the man of your dreams who's going to provide you with happiness for the rest of your life, then it really doesn't matter. Like, be disappointed, have that moment.
Have a party later.
But let's move on to what's really important and just get fucking married on 10-10-20 wherever and however you can.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. It is hell froze over because Kenya is the one handing out decent, empathetic advice.
About time she pulled her head out of her ass. Like, I have to say, I mean, I feel like this divorce and this separation is really changing Kenya, and I hope it's a change that we see sticks around because she's actually being a good friend to Cynthia. A good friend to Cynthia. Not many other people.
And in her own very special way. But she is, and I think Mel appreciates it with Cynthia, and I think we'll see them work it out. Obviously, we know they did get married on 10-10-20, so they obviously figured it out.
That was a big day for weddings in the Real Housewife universe.
It was, because bloody what's the chops? Kelly got married on that day as well. But talking of marriages, let's chat about Ralph and Drew's counselling session, because this really made my piss boil. This
man needs to go.
He is. He's not a nice guy.
No. And I found it fascinating in that backyard therapy session when he talks about, like, his mom pissed him off, so he left and, like, just didn't take care of her. Like.
And the arrogance with that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I just
God, she fell apart.
Together, but I showed her. It's like, I wrote, my exact line was, turns out Ralph was a cunt to his mum as well. Like, I just think he is fucking damaged and dangerous. And the way
I think Drew is 100% correct that he needs to go to therapy on his own. Like, she said this in, like, past episodes. He needs to go to therapy on his own and work through that shit, because there are some things that need to be looked at there.
But he's also of a kind of I guess generation where therapy is not really a thing. Like, couples therapy is probably more acceptable than individual therapy. And I know that there's lots of talk about black men feeling like they are.
For sure. Because he's younger than we are.
That it's not something that they can do, that it's a real vulnerability that they haven't.
It's a slight to, like, their manhood, right? Like, they're not allowed to have feelings or discuss them or whatever. But I don't feel like Ralph is going to change. I don't think he gives two fucks. I think Drew is 100% right that he is playing to this audience for the show and for the therapist, and it's fucking weird. I don't like it. She can do better on her own, in my opinion.
When the therapist says, what do you want to get out of it? And he's like, respect and sex 3 times a week minimum. I swear to God, I would have walked out. That is, how fucking dare you? Like, how dare you?
Yeah. And I don't think Drew's really asking for all that much. I mean, in all honesty, I think she needs to ask for more. All she's asking is that, like, he let her know when he
off
leaves.
to Florida for 3 days without telling her.
Right. But I did find it very interesting that, like, he did that to her the same way he did it to his mom. Like, and the therapist obviously pointed that out. Like, that's the only way he feels he can get validation is by leaving.
But the problem is, I agree. But I felt like rather than him go,
oh shit.
Yeah, maybe I'm not handling this very well.
Yeah.
I think what he took from that is,
good job.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do. Great. This is how I handle stuff.
Yeah. So you just need to expect that I'm going to run away for 3 days.
This is what I do. Yeah.
That's just the way it's going to be.
I can't even with him. Excuse me. I've just been drinking Coke and I've got all burpy. Apologies.
Okay, but let's carry on with the couple train. Portia and Dennis are no more, apparently.
End of the road for Penis. Or Dorsha.
Sorry, I'm going to be a real 12-year-old boy about that and laugh.
I know. I gave that. I mean, I was a 12-year-old boy and giving it to you.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Or Dorsha. Yeah, it's no more. I mean, I'm not. I think Portia is growing so much, so quickly. She's so strong. She doesn't need some.
She is such a badass.
Hot dog dude.
Can we just talk like she's the only one in this whole group?
Okay, with that out of the way, let's move on to Below Deck, which has not been our favourite season of Below Deck, but it did pick up a little bit in this episode.
It's getting a little spicy. Got some spicy new guests. Got
Basically,
some hot tub action.
We just need somebody to put 50p in Captain Lee is essentially what we need, just to see him go, and then we've got a show basically.
Oh my word! I cannot believe how these guests are treating Captain Lee. Like, I have never seen anybody treat Captain Lee this way before.
Have you seen the meme that's going around at the moment? And it's like sliding into 2021 and it's this woman walking down the back stairs of a yacht, and she's fucking shit-faced, and she falls onto the swim platform, and her head's over the edge, and she's like laughing, and then she just slowly slides into the water, like completely, like it's honestly joyous. I'll send it to you after this.
We have to find it. We'll post it when we find it. Oh my God.
This is that episode encapsulated. And as I said, like, Captain Lee has always made this franchise. Just having him at the top with his fucking goddammit and all this bit. It's brilliant. And this episode is brilliant because of it. But before we get to that, let's talk about Elizabeth and James getting randy in the hot tub.
Ooh, the steamy vibes in the hot tub. I don't know, man.
I don't blame James. She's a pretty girl.
I don't blame her. He's a pretty dude. I mean,
what I'm saying is I'm taking issue with dismissing James as a I'm just taking issue with Rachel dismissing James as like a fuck boy.
Oh yeah. No, he's
because
a sensitive soul with a fuck boy exterior for sure. And I think we see that because like they mess around, then like the next day he like calls her out, and like I was fully expecting it just to be like, you know, a little gropey session. But like they just sit there and talk, and he is really trying to get to know her, which is interesting. I don't think he's gonna have to go very deep, but
I think he probably got everything he needed in that 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have a lot of time for James, and I think it's very clear that he's got a good heart and a good soul. Just because he likes the ladies doesn't mean he's going to be a dick to them all. I think his heart's been broken. He's a little bit cautious.
Yeah.
And he's taking it fucking slowly. And I just think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I take issue with Rachel on this particular thing because, maybe he had. I mean, I think James has been bantery with everyone. He's not been fucking around with everybody. This is episode 10 of this season. He's not messed around with anybody beforehand. Like, he's not out to do wrong by people. He's not a sex pest menace. Like,
no, and I mean, thank God for him because he's got a sense of humor. He's a little bit cheeky. He's fun. I mean, Rob, the new guy.
Not hot.
Even.
Not in the least.
So boring.
Yeah.
And Eddie is a beige cardigan. Rachel's interesting, but like I feel like once we've seen her talk about fucking something in the mouth, we know what we're going to get with her.
Right.
Elizabeth's dull, Francesca's dull, Ashling's dull.
Yeah.
Izzy's dull. I mean.
Yeah. Thank God for
James
James.
And Captain Lee.
Yeah. Yeah. They're carrying the show, and drunk Dolores, who we can talk about in a minute.
Drunk Dolores. But coronavirus is starting to impact Below Deck. Izzy is sick. We know that it does have an impact on this season in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know how and when, but maybe this is the beginning of it. Maybe Izzy is.
I mean, it will have to be. It's episode 10.
How many do we have?
I don't know how many more we'll have. Maybe 8 more. I mean, maybe we'll have 8 more. That's quite a few. Yeah. But I think that's a stretch. I think usually it's 16.
Well,
but anyways, we'll see.
But yeah, I hope she gets better. It'd be awful if we lost Izzy.
Yeah, because honestly, actually, I've liked her loads more on deck than I liked her interior. Like, I think that's where she should be. But let's get into the drunker than a 4-pecker goat guest, which was Captain Lee's phrase, which I loved. And can a goat have 4 dicks? Is that possible?
I mean, no. I mean, who knows? In Captain Lee's world, anything is possible. Yeah. Although I have this sneaking suspicion he votes for Trump.
Oh, I'm sure he does. There's no doubt in my mind. He's a white man from Florida.
We'll just not think about that.
And
anyway, so they get their charter guests who are boat people. Now, this is always really tricky, and I remember being doing the ski chalet season thing and having friends of the guys who owned the chalet coming. You know, so they've done loads of ski things and all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that is really, really irritating because they know all the bits. They know exactly what they can expect and ask for. Whereas a lot of guests are like, oh, my God, are you sure you don't mind? Whereas these guests are like, no, I know this is what. Bring it on.
Make it happen.
So that's stressful. But actually, I mean, Dolores is a whole new level of brave because I don't know anybody who goes up against Captain Lee like that.
No. And the thing with her is there were some moments where I was like, is she getting too hammered? But then she would talk total sense and be fine. So I think this was like a really tricky overserve. Like you didn't know she was like overserved until the very end of the episode, which in full disclosure, I actually didn't see the video because it messed up on my DVRs. So like I could hear it, but I couldn't see it. So I didn't get the full effect. So paint me a picture, Kat.
Well, she wasn't like sloppy drunk. Like it was clear that she was shit-faced, but she wasn't like falling asleep in her soup or anything. She managed a conversation. She sat through dinner. She was upright. She was walking. So yes, she was shit-faced, but there didn't seem to be any indication to suggest that they should cut her off.
Right.
She wasn't aggro. Even when she was being naughty, she wasn't aggro. She was super chill.
Yeah, it's like cute naughty.
But she's on the swim deck. She's on the swim deck, and she's like, I'm going to go in. And everybody's fans like, no, you can't go in. It's really dangerous. James is like, you can't go in. Look, can't go in. Don't be stupid. Don't go in. Don't go and see now. Really dangerous. It's dark. You're drunk. Don't do that. Anyway, she literally just like, Captain Lee's above, looking over the railing. He's like, do not do that. Like, I fucking swear to God, if you do that. And I felt like me when Bo is like, Sharpie in hand in front of a white wall. And I'm like, I swear to God, if you do that. And she just looks at me like, little glint in her eye. And draws her name. And then goes, but look, I drew my name. This is what that woman did. She looked at Captain Lee, and she literally just dived in.
Oh my God.
And then swam, and then went out.
Just like swimming.
James is like, should I go in after her? Like taking his top off, friends like, yeah. And then Captain Lee, should James go in? No, nobody else to go in. He's standing there screaming at her like she's a kid. Get your ass out of that goddamn water right now. I mean, it was even, and then he's like, that's it. Your charter's over. And then he goes into the dining room and he tells them that their charter's over. He's going straight back to the dock and they are getting off. All the crew's faces are like,
fuck. Wow. Yeah. Was she in clothes? Did she go swimming in her clothes?
Yeah, fully dressed. White dress, dived in.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait for next week. I can't wait to see that. Because there is some level where, like, if I was the host, I'd be like, well, can we just kick her off? Like, let's go back to the thing. I'm fine to, like, send her home. Can we go back out then? That's the friend I am.
I totally would as well. I'd be like, no, we drop her off and then we're back out. Like, fuck it. She's a grown woman.
Yes, she is.
She's a grown woman. Hold your liquor, make your own decisions, and face your own consequences. But I totally would have taken her to the dock, or I would have just pulled up the anchor and fucking left her.
Oh,
Shark
man.
Food. So yeah, we'll
Crazy.
see. I mean, I don't know.
And this woman gives no fucks.
Or maybe he'll just calm down and be like, maybe he'll retract. I don't know.
Who knows? Holy shitballs.
Anyway, let's go to the OC where we are nearly, I believe we're not nearly at the end of this.
Yeah, next week is their last episode, which cannot come too soon. And it'll only be 14 episodes because this was episode 13. So it's shorter than normal as well.
Well, it's felt longer than normal.
Yeah, it 100% has. I mean, I'm not, like, on social media, there's a lot of people clamoring to bring Vicky and Tamara back. I'm not that person. No. But there needs to be something else because, like, This has not been a good season.
Well, I just wonder if there's just an element of tonality in it that isn't sitting right. Like amidst a year of real hardship and coronavirus and Black Lives Matter and things like that, that maybe it just all seems a bit fucking...
Maybe the OC is played out. I mean, it is the oldest one. Maybe it's time to drop OC.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just think that there's something boring about watching a load of really overprivileged, entitled white women dealing with this kind of petty bullshit amidst coronavirus and people dying.
Well,
and I don't know.
Well, and I feel like while there are stories like, you know, there's Sean and Bronwyn and Elizabeth and the Colt and Shannon being fucking freaked out. And I mean, there are some things there, but I kind of feel like they just shouldn't have filmed this season. Like, yeah. I mean, at least in Atlanta, we're seeing Portia out there doing some shit. Like, we're seeing something happen. But these guys, it's like I almost don't know if it was just too early in like what was happening. I mean, I don't know.
I think maybe for me, it's like they're so privileged that we can almost watch this without coronavirus and Black Lives Matter having any impact. And I think that kind of feels a bit
weird,
just a bit disconnected. Because
I remember,
like, do you remember? Did you know how Emily recently caught coronavirus? Do you remember when they were blasted on social media because they all went over to somebody's house and hung out and took that picture? And then that was where they caught coronavirus. And I remember thinking, there's just that tone deafness that they're not getting it. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's start with Bronwyn and Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a shit show, isn't it?
It's not good. Like, I'll have to say, there was part of me that really liked that her journey was going to be on television. I didn't feel that this episode. I actually just kind of felt bad for Sean. Like, I don't know. Like, I know he's had his hand in all of this, and I know things are changing, and I'm trying to keep that in mind, but, like, she's kind of being a dick.
She is being a dick, but, like, I think that interview that we did with Behind the Velvet Rope, whose name, because my
David
Yonta,
yeah,
really made me reassess a lot of people's kind of place
motives
in the shows and motives. And so I think that he's always been quite thirsty. He's really enjoyed being on a show. I think it appeals to their weird sense of just, let's do this, it's fun. And I think we're a bit crazy. So while I do feel sorry for him, I feel sorry for anybody going through this kind of situation, him and Bronwyn. I don't really feel sorry for him that it's going on the show. I'm like, okay, well, this is where you did this. Like,
yeah. Well, no, I mean, obviously they're like grown people doing this, but he has no control over how his wife is going to treat him on the show. Like,
no, he doesn't have any control.
That lies with her.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think you're right. I think chatting with, he's still there.
Yes, I am. Okay. Sorry, somebody just tried to call me.
No worries.
How rude.
Yeah, like anybody talks on the phone anymore. Send me a text. But I think you're right. I think like after chatting with him and really kind of reevaluating people's motives for being on this show, I feel Bronwyn feels a little contrived in these episodes, like the throwing a tantrum about not talking shit about Shannon, then talking shit about Shannon, and then my two girlfriends are gonna come over. Like, I don't know. I'm not liking Bronwyn at the moment. She's not very likable right now.
Well, obviously she's since come out as gay. So this is kind of I guess this preempts all of that. This is the beginning of that journey, and she sort of says that, you know, she's really something along the lines of she's taking it out on Sean because she isn't able to find the courage to be her true self. Like, and all of that we can see, and her level of self-awareness right now is really high, and I can appreciate that. But she's also in this very selfish, newly sober mode where it's like, I need to do anything and everything to make me happy, and kind of everybody else be damned. My only circle of responsibility includes me, and that's it. But also,
Which
She's
is
like,
kind of a
it's
privileged place when you have 7
so
children to
privileged.
look after.
Well, but this
Yeah.
is the thing, right? She's like, my marriage is different. We're like fucking flatmates. I'm like, you also have a 2-year-old still. Like, I know
Right.
you've been together for 25 years, and maybe you're like, maybe it's not the right thing, but anybody, even if you're meant to be together, when you've got kids that young, yeah, you are fucking flatmates. Like, you fucking pass ships in the night, you high five, tag in, tag out. And I just wonder if she's seeing everything clearly, or if she's just like fueled by this new beginnings, exciting things. I don't know. I'm not undermining her coming out. I'm sure that that's real, but it seems like a very emotionally chaotic period for her. And, you know, that, I don't know. It's just a lot.
Please subscribe, rate, and review TV My Husband Hates wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at TV My Husband Hates and join the Facebook group to keep the conversation going when the podcast ends. If Twitter's your thing, you'll find us at TV Husbands Hate. Theme music and production for TV My Husband Hates is by Jimmy Sims.